All right, it is time, finally, on Halloween, we are ranking the entire Halloween franchise. I have been highly anticipating this video since I started this channel, and 13 movies in, 13 movies down, and we are ready to officially have my definitive ranking of this franchise. Now, I'm going to do a tier ranking, but the way I'm going to also position these films is really my true ranking of how I'd rank these. So I will be going through, all the way from the worst to the best in the franchise. And let's go ahead and label it out for you. SABCF. That's it. I decided not to do like something unique or something funny. I want this to be the most authentic ranking that I've ever done, the best ranking I've ever done. So here we go. Let's get started with Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This one, when I first watched this movie years ago, I didn't really like it. I don't like Tina Still. I think she's a super annoying character. I don't like the direction that they go with Jamie. I don't like that they kill off Rachel. But this movie has really kind of grown on me over the past couple of years. And because of that, I gotta put this in B. I think that this is a movie that, has that Halloween atmosphere. I really do love kind of the look of Myers in this film. I don't like the masks per se, but I like the way that Michael moves in this film. I like, how moody the atmosphere gets, and the fact that it was filmed here in Utah. I think that that's something that I can also really appreciate about it. The next film is Halloween H2O. I'm not a big fan of this movie, but I can't put it in F. This movie's gonna go in C. Halloween H2O. This is a movie that came out during the Scream phase, the Scream era, where everything wanted to be Scream. And this movie just does not feel like a Halloween film. It is the least atmospheric. It feels like a summer blockbuster, and it's really more of an action movie with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back as Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, the boogeyman, following her to California. I don't like the look of Myers in this movie. I don't like the CG mask. I think the characters, other than Laurie Strode, you could care less about them. You don't care about her son. It's one of those movies to me where it felt almost in a way like they were trying to reimagine Scream within the Halloween franchise as opposed to really creating their own sequel with H2O. So I don't like this movie personally. This is going to be C. I don't think it's the worst of the franchise. We haven't even gotten to that point, but it is one of those that I don't really feel like watching ever. It's just not one that I like to revisit often. I don't appreciate the film. Next we have Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. This movie's so hard for me because I don't like this movie. It's one of the most convoluted and polluted films I've ever seen in Hollywood history. Like, there are several different cuts of this movie. We've only seen the producer's cut and the theatrical cut, but I'm sure that there's other cuts out there. Neither cut works. It feels kind of like a jumbled mess with either cut. They both have really weird, wonky ideas. This whole, cult ideology is stupid, and it's laughable, and it really kind of decreases the effect of Myers, and it almost in a way makes you feel empathy towards him, which is never a good thing. Paul Rudd in this movie is terrible. I love Paul Rudd, but he's really bad in this film. I'm going to stick this in C, though. I'm going to put it after... actually, I'm going to put it before Halloween H2O. This is a movie that I can rewatch. I think it is better than H2O, in my opinion, because I do think that this movie has that sense of Halloween atmosphere. I don't like that they recast Jamie Lloyd and then therefore killed her. The theatrical cut is really bizarre and weird. There's a lot of different weird ideas. Like, you have one cut where Michael basically rapes Jamie. You have another cut where, the cult is trying to sacrifice the female protagonist in the film. It's just such a very weird, awe-shocking movie, the way that they were painting a picture towards certain things in the conclusion of this trilogy. It doesn't work, and I don't like this movie that much. But hey, it's more atmospheric than H2O, and I'll give it that. And I think it's more of a movie that I might be able to find appreciation for somewhere down the future, but I also feel like it's not because I've watched this movie several times. Halloween 4, this is when we get into the best of the best. This is an S tier movie. I don't care what anybody says. This is the greatest slasher sequel of all time. I love this film. I mean, Halloween 4 is one of those staples to me where it shows you how a good sequel can actually happen within, one of the most beloved classic films in Halloween. And this is a movie that, Myers is not chasing Laurie Strode. He's chasing her daughter, Jamie Lloyd. But Jamie Lloyd's not even the best character in this film. It's Rachel. The character of Rachel is amazing. She is my favorite final girl in all of cinema. I love this film. It was also shot here in Utah. I got to visit some of the locations, which you can go check out. I'll list in a title card above. But this is one of those movies that just floors me every time I watch it. I love it. I love the fact that they have the whole town of Haddonfield going against Myers and this evil trying to put it away. Before Halloween Kills was Halloween Kills, this movie was Halloween Kills in a sense. Myers is brutal in this film. There's so many great moments. There's great characters. There's great suspense, great action, great atmosphere again. The score is phenomenal in this film. Myers in the hospital taped up mask is so sick. I love that look of Myers. So yeah, Halloween 4 is a huge win in my opinion. It is one of the best slasher films of all time. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which I will be watching tonight for a live stream, which I will link down below. Make sure you come watch it with me. But Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, I'm going to give this an A. I love this movie. I don't love it as much as Halloween 4. I feel like there's only really 2 movies in this entire franchise that deserve S tier. But Halloween 3 is such a great film. There's no Myers in it. It's not a Michael Myers story. It's an anthology story that works about a corporation trying to kill kids on Halloween. It's awesome. Tom Atkins, I love him in this film. I love the performance that he gives. I really like the slow build and setup of this film. The beginning of this movie is so well done and well shot and well paced that it really sets you up for the entirety of what's going to happen with the rest of this film. I love Halloween 3. It is a staple that you have to watch this movie almost every Halloween. It's so good. Halloween Ends, the newest film in the franchise. I'm going to give it a C, but I'm going to put it above Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. This was a disappointment. I really wanted to love this movie. I've talked ad nauseum about Halloween Ends. You can go find my latest videos where I do 2 different reviews on the movie. Halloween Ends is just, it's a frustrating film for me. I think if I, give it a couple years, it might find its way into B territory with Halloween 5, but I just don't like it that much. I mean, the atmosphere is there in a sense, but the movie it feels kind of like a muddled mess. It feels like they were trying to throw too many things at the wall and seeing what stuck. It was like they were trying to find a way to continue this legacy on, this franchise on, without Myers. The character of Corey is very divisive. I mean, it's just a movie that really should not have been what it was to conclude a huge trilogy. So it's a little unfortunate, but Halloween Ends is going to be a C tier right now, and it's above Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween 2018. I don't personally love this film like everyone else, but I will give it a B. I think I am going to put it below Halloween 5. I think that this is a good film to reintroduce these characters, reintroduce the town of Haddonfield. The problem is the jokes do not land and they fall flat on their face. They're not funny. Even the first time I watched it, it was not funny. It really felt like this movie was trying to find its identity. And then another problem that this movie had was the Sartain twist. It completely ruined the entire fun that I was having with this film, because the moment that they had that twist, I thought, wow, that was such a stupid way to introduce this concept into really the climactic moment of the film. It was such a lazy way to write in Michael and Laurie being reintroduced to one another. Didn't really like it. So Halloween 2018, it is a B-tier movie. I do think it's a very fun film for what you want out of it, but the more I watch it, the less I really like it over time. Halloween, the classic. This is obviously S tier, and it's going above Halloween 4. It's my favorite movie of all time. It's the greatest movie of all time. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, it's perfect. This is the perfect horror film. You have to watch it every Halloween, and if you don't, then what are you really doing? What are you really doing? This movie's phenomenal. I've said so much about it. I don't need to say anything more about it. It's just, it's the greatest movie in this franchise, and it's the movie that really set up my entire love for Michael Myers, my entire love for this franchise. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Look, I don't care what everyone says. I like this film. I'm going to put it also in B. But here's the problem with this movie, okay? The first half of this film is awful. The dialogue is white trash garbage. The second half, though, rocks. I love the second half of this movie when it, once it's that 48-minute mark, I believe, that's when the movie gets really interesting and really good. It's just those first 48 minutes are awful. The way that you're introduced to Michael Myers and his family is just absolutely disgusting, and it's one of those movies that I feel like you have to put blinders on the first half of, and then the second half you can kind of open your eyes and open your ears and just enjoy. So you got to get through that first half, because that first half is really hard, but once you get past that first half, then the movie picks up and it's actually quite good. And I do like Tyler Mane's version of Michael. He's very menacing. He feels like a wrestling type of Michael Myers, which is kind of fun. More gritty, kind of hobo-like. It's really interesting the take that they take in Rob Zombie's Halloween. But I do enjoy this film, at least the second half of it. Halloween Kills. I love this movie. This is getting an A. I do not care. I'm going to put it above Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I love this movie. This is the slasher movie that I've been waiting for. Michael is absolutely brutal and terrifying in this film. Yeah, there are some really stupid things about this movie, I'm not going to lie. The chanting of Evil Dies Tonight over and over again does get really old fast, and it's very laughable, and some of the characters are pretty stupid. But this is what I love slashers for, because you can go in knowing that this movie is completely unrealistic, not serious, but yet it just has so much fun with this concept, and this is what I wanted for David Gordon Green to do so badly, was just give us a raw, authentic slasher movie with all the blood and the gore and the guts, and hopefully we have a good conclusion to end on. We didn't, but Halloween Kills is a lot of fun. I do really enjoy the film, and honestly, it is one of my favorites of the franchise. It just is. I love watching it. I think it's just such a fun Halloween movie to watch, and I'm very grateful that we have it. Halloween Resurrection. This is getting our first F. This movie absolutely sucks. This is one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life. It's offensive to me. I'm very offended by this film, and I actually full-heartedly mean that. I do not like this movie. Busta Rhymes completely ruined any chance of me being a fan of his, and it's not even his fault. I mean, it's just the way that the film was written. It's the way that it was directed. Rick Rosenthal came back to direct. Like, what are you doing? You made Halloween 2, and then you put out this pile of trash. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. Don't even want to talk about it anymore. It is literally one of the worst in the entire franchise, but it's not the worst. Halloween 2. Ooh, this one's very tough for me. I think I'm going to give it a B, and I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it above Halloween 5. Okay, why is it not? There we go. I'm putting it above Halloween 5. Halloween 2 is a good sequel. It is just not a very believable sequel from the follow-up from the previous film, which is the original Halloween. This movie came out 3 years later, and they want you to believe that on the same night, okay, because it's supposed to be on the same night of Halloween, that Michael would go from stalking his prey, being kind of this, wait-and-see predator in the darkness, to all of a sudden a killing machine. It doesn't make a lot of sense in that regard. A lot of Laurie's actions in this movie don't make a lot of sense. Also, Loomis in this movie doesn't make really a whole lot of sense. It really wants you to buy into the fact that this happens on the same night, but none of that is really believable in a sense. I love the hospital aesthetic though. It looks incredible. I think anytime you have a horror movie set in a hospital, you are set up for good things. This movie really amps up the violence. It amps up everything to a 10, which is what slasher films are really known for. This definitely feels more in the vein of, you know, Friday the 13th and other slasher movies around this time. So it's not as genius or as, you know, smart or innovative as the original film. But I do like it. I don't like the Laurie Michael sibling twist. I think it was very horribly revealed on screen, and then they don't really bring it back at the end of the film. It felt like it was just meaningless. The whole weight of the movie of finding out a little bit more about who Michael is and why he has this connection to Laurie, and then you find out it's his sister, and then that's it. Like, you find out the reveal, and then nothing else happens. It feels like so meaningless. But yeah, it's a fun movie that I enjoy watching every couple of years. It's not one that I watch it's not one that I watch, you know, every year on rotation, but it's fun to watch occasionally. And then we have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 to empty this list, and I'm just going to throw this and yeah, F. This movie absolutely sucks. This is the worst film in the franchise. Rob Zombie, what the hell were you thinking? This movie makes no sense. It makes no sense. Yeah, let's just bring Myers back, not have him wear the mask the entire time, which is fine, whatever. That's not offensive to me. What is offensive to me is that this film really decides to bring back Sherry Moon Zombie, have this whole white horse twist in it. Laurie's awful in this film. I really despise Malcolm McDowell's Loomis in this film. He's a greedy scumbag. I hate this movie. It's awful, and it's one that I really, probably out of all of these, I can't say I'll never watch again. But it's one that I will not watch very often. I'd rather watch Resurrection than this. It is the worst film in the franchise. So anyway, guys, that is my ranking. What is yours? Let me know down below in the comment section of this video. And join me tonight as we watch and dive deep into Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Happy Halloween.